If your doctors keep telling you that everything is normal, everything is fine, yet your symptoms are destroying your life and your body is collapsing every day a little bit more, then know that your symptoms are 100% real, but probably not for the reason that you have been told. You might feel like you're having the flu, yet you don't. You might have extreme brain fog, yet an MRI scan tells you that everything is okay in your brain. So what's going on here? These are what I call symptoms. And your body actually produces them for you. This has been shown in science. When I figured this out after being bedbound for many years, I was like, why didn't they tell me? And I started becoming a little bit upset. As it turned out, the brain can create tiny changes in the body, for example, with blood circulation, muscle tension. And by doing that, it can create massive symptoms and immune responses, even what can be called an infection. And these infections and symptoms and all of these things that are extremely overwhelming are part of the freeze response of the autonomic nervous system. So no, your body isn't broken. Something is actually still working for you. Your brain doesn't just choose symptoms randomly. There is an idea behind it. The first time that I had this, I didn't know what hit me. Something must have been very wrong. That's what I felt. It took me 5 hours to get out of bed, to make it to go to the toilet, only because I really, really had to. And here's what's interesting. The underlying reason for this, for me in my own journey and for my clients, is not in the body itself. Imagine that all of a sudden, the brain perceives an emotion as too overwhelming. It can't handle it. The body gets very stressed, and the stress is amplifying. And then at one point, the body shuts down, freeze response. It creates those symptoms. It's basically telling you that you need to go to bed. Because whether you have a migraine attack or a depression or extreme fatigue or a crash or flu-like symptoms, that's the only place where you want to be. And that's because the body or the brain is perceiving an overwhelming amount of stress, and it wants you to be safe somewhere. It wants you to go to bed. It's like your brain saying, when I give you extreme exhaustion, extreme vertigo, extreme nausea, then maybe this human being inside of me is finally going to stop, and that will wind down the stress response. Yet unfortunately, it doesn't. When you are in bed, extremely overwhelmed with symptoms, you're suffering. You want a solution. You look for answers, and you probably can't find them. You start worrying. You start stressing about the symptoms. You start adding stress to your body, creating more freeze responses, and maybe even more overwhelming freeze responses. Therefore, the symptoms will just increase. And that becomes a negative cycle. Almost all of my clients were in that negative cycle before they found me. Because it takes some time for you to figure out what happens. What we're seeing is that everyone tries to do healing perfectly, whether it is a perfect diet, journaling, breath work, calming down the nervous system, emotional healing, and exactly that might be the reason that things go downhill. Sometimes when you go a little bit deeper and you touch upon a frightening feeling that you've probably carried since childhood, then all of a sudden your body shuts down into freeze response immediately. I mean, that doesn't work. You can't rush yourself into healing, and you have to be very gentle. So it's a very delicate process, and it takes time for you to be ready and for you to actually do this. It takes new skills. It's just not easy. So how do you start this without overwhelming yourself or falling in the self-improvement trap? Because my main message is usually that there is nothing to improve about yourself. Just finally allow yourself to be who you really are. Think about a situation that happened last week that made your symptoms worse. Maybe you can visualize that that is happening right now. And instead of pushing these symptoms away, ask yourself, what am I missing in that moment? What did I not feel? So this makes you think a little bit. Maybe it was after a family dinner. Maybe you were doing a lot of to-do list tasks. But ask yourself, what was it? What made you stressed before that? If nothing comes up, then that's perfectly fine as well. Your body basically had years of practice in hiding certain feelings for you. So if you would like to do this together, I made here a video about doing this together and exploring the body and looking what is underneath the symptoms. If you would like to find out more about how the brain creates these symptoms, then I made this video, and I also put the links in the description.